A little Chihuahua that has a very sensitive stomach and can't handle commercial dog treats. And then we've got a little long-haired dachshund that could eat anything. So my wife had to come up with a dog treat that would not bother the Chihuahua's stomach. And this is what she's making now, and it seems to be working out pretty good. First, she starts by, getting everything out. And this video is about actually making two separate batches of the same thing. So you'll see there are two pans when you're done. So it's really two batches. So one batch, she starts with 1/2 cup of water. And she uses warm water to try to soften the peanut butter a little bit. Then there is a 1/2 cup of oil. And we always use canola oil for this, and it seems to work out pretty good. Next, each batch has 2 eggs in it, and they're just I think they're just like a plain large egg that we use in there. And then the next ingredient to go in is 3 tablespoons of peanut butter. Now we use a fresh ground all natural peanut butter from our local little Amish store where they just grind peanuts up and they put no additives in it. So, there's no sugar or anything else that could bother the dog. So try to use a peanut butter that has no additives in it whatsoever. And then the last thing to go in are 2 teaspoons full of vanilla. And I guess it just gives a little bit of flavor to make the dogs like it a little better. Then comes the challenging part where you have to kind of blend all the wet ingredients together. And that's why my wife starts with a warm water with it, because it helps to break down the peanut butter. Because the natural peanut butter, like I said, it has no additives in it it's just plain fine ground peanuts. So it takes a while to get it all mixed up and get it all dissolved into the other liquids there. So there you can see she's just kind of, mixing that all up in one bowl. And then in the meantime, she has that second bowl there that you can see where the dry ingredients will start going into it. So, first you start with 2 cups of flour, and she just uses a general all-purpose flour for this. And then there's a 1/2 cup of cornmeal that goes in next. And then just a 1/2 cup of oats goes in last. So then you just take a whisk and you mix all those dry ingredients together with a whisk. And once they're all mixed up good, you just, pour it into the wet bowl. And now you have to mix it up and try to form a dough out of this. You start out, you start mixing it up, and my wife said usually it comes out a little bit too thin for a dough. So you'll see as she goes on, once she gets to a point, she'll just start to sprinkle. Here she goes. She's going to sprinkle a little bit more flour in just to start to make it more like the consistency of a dough, as you can see. And she'll just keep mixing that up for a while until she gets it right where she wants it. And then at that point, it's basically, it's basically just like any other dough, I guess. And now we're just going to take it, and she dumps it out on, she's got one of those silicone mats that she puts down, and she dumps it out, and she starts to kind of knead it like a dough. And at that time, I don't know how to tell when it's done, but she just keeps adding a little bit of flour until it kind of, gets to the right consistency that she wants. So I guess anybody that has any bread experience will have a better idea than me. But so she just, kneads it, and she adds a little bit of flour at a time, just until, it gets exactly like she wants, and then it gets ready to roll out. And what she'll do is she'll start by just kind of rough rolling it out to be approximately the size of the cookie sheet that she's going to cook it in. So here you can see she's, just kind of spreading the dough out there and trying to get it just about the right size for the sheets. And she said this is one step that you don't want to forget, and that's cover the cookie sheets with parchment paper. Anything else just doesn't work, and they always seem to stick. So once you got the cookie sheet covered and the dough kind of rough rolled out, all she does is she takes it and transfers that into the cookie sheet there. And you can see that, it's still not quite the right size or anything, but actually I made her this little tiny rolling pin to go with her big rolling pin that she uses for rolling this dough out in the sheet now. Now, before she had this rolling pin, she actually used a water glass to do it, which was kind of a pain, but, it worked. So now what she'll do is she'll just kind of roll this dough out till it just about fills the whole sheet up, and try to get some straight edges on it there so that when you cut the cookies out that you'll have good shaped treats. So this just takes it takes a little bit of fiddling with it to get it to a point where she's happy with it. Then the next thing that she came up with is that she uses a pizza cutter now to cut the biscuit or the treats to the size that our dogs like. Now, depending on the size of your dog, you make them different sizes. But our dogs just seem to like them to be, about a ½ inch square or a little bit bigger, maybe. So originally she tried the first couple batches where she cooked them up first and then went back and tried to cut them into the cookies. And it just made a mess. It made crumbs, and it just did not work out good. So she came up with this solution, which really worked good, as you'll see in the end. So now it's just a matter of, just slicing the dough. And, while you start working on this, you want to preheat your oven to the 400 degrees. And as you can see, the dough slice is pretty good. You'll get a couple that, these are pretty small ones, so you will get a couple that kind of stick to the wheel and may have to be, just pushed back down in the pan a little bit. But basically, there you can see the treats are all cut. They're ready to go in the oven now. So she's got the first pan done, and now this is it. She went back and made up another whole batch of the dough, and this is just going back and, rolling out the second pan full, and then just cutting it up and, getting that ready for the oven. She found out that these treats really, you can actually put them in a container and they freeze well too. So that's why she usually makes 2 batches at a time when she's making them. So there they are. There's the 2 of the batches ready to go into the oven. They go into a 400-degree oven and they cook for 20 minutes. Then, once that 20 minutes is up, you turn off the oven and you leave the treats in the oven to cool. And when the oven is cool, you take them out, and there's basically what they look like. Okay, there they are now. Both of our dogs actually really like these treats, and they do not bother the little Chihuahua's stomach. So, they're a real hit. And as you can see, here comes quality control. Once you take them out of the oven, she comes running. She's got to have the first treat to try. And here comes the other one. So, you can see they really do enjoy these treats. And I've actually tried them, and they're really not too bad. If they had a little bit of sugar in them, I think I'd like them better, though. But the dogs really seem to like them, and they do not, cause any stomach problems. They're all basically, a very natural treat. And they break up pretty easy once you've pre-cut them. So my wife just has some plastic containers that she she stores them in, and she'll keep one container out and then throw the other containers in the freezer for, when she needs them. So, this is just a little simple dog treat that we make that I thought I'd share with you because I know there's probably other people out there that have dogs that actually have a very sensitive stomach and, have very limited ingredients that they can eat without getting sick. And even when we looked at the ingredients and like the all natural treats that are supposed to be, real simple and, some of the ingredients just are not good for the dog. So, this is kind of what we make. And It's very simple. It takes, an afternoon to make a couple batches like that. And the dogs just, they do love them and they do enjoy them. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.